Hello people, welcome to another episode of Iron Fist Mining. Now, I know you were expecting to be at Brett's claim, but right now the water is really high up at where his claim's at. You need a raft to get across stuff, you got to haul gear. It's not the right time. So, I'm back at my spot again. Sorry about the miscommunication, but we're going to do some digging here today. The water is still high. And last time, because there's so much more water flowing through here, I was having trouble keeping the flow regulated going through the sluice. Even if I built a little dam at the back end of the sluice to help slow the water down, it still blew out a lot of material. That would explain why I was seeing the chunkier stuff versus a lot of the fine gold, which I know blew out. So today I'm going to try to avoid the faster water and put it in water that seems really still. That's something that I needed to bring up. I haven't said in a while. When you're running your sluice, you kind of need a slurry of material. If this is your overall sluice depth, you need about that much material running through it at all times. Now you may be thinking, well, if there's that much dirt in there, won't it knock the gold out? No, the gold's going to get lazy. As soon as it hits the mouth of the sluice, it sinks right to the bottom. All that stuff moving over the top is just junk you don't want to pan, so let it do its job. Something else too, I've been hearing a lot of tales of, like people picking up nuggets. I found a nugget here, I found a nugget there. Now, a lot of us are perceiving the nugget to be this, a representation, something around this size. The nuggets they're actually talking about this. That would be a big one. I mean, sometimes you'll find something bigger than that, but the truth of it is, if you find something this big, you are really, really lucky. That's why people get famous when they find them, and you can probably count them all in one hand in the past 10 years of people that have found something that big. So, don't get yourself too worked up about how much gold you're going to get. That's all I'm saying. Don't get overly excited. And you guys also have to realize, too, the amount of gold I get from here isn't without its efforts. It's hard, super hard work. In one day, I will accumulate enough energy spent doing this that I do all week building houses. So keep that in mind. You got to fill up like a truck bed worth of dirt just to get that little bitty bit of shiny. So it's not gonna, you're not gonna walk out and say, whoa, I'm rich and I can buy a house and some really hot chicks and video games and stereo systems. You'd be a lucky bastard if that happened. You know what I mean? So stick around, stay tuned. I'll try to hit you with some tips and tricks, maybe even get some footage of that 4-inch working, because, dude, it's awesome. The big sucker. Okay, got all my gear back up on the beach. This little dam I built here, if you can see that was to help slow the flow down a little bit, and it worked. I got quite a bit of material. Last time I did it, I maybe got a half of a pan. Now it's pretty much 3/4 of a pan of material to go through, and you can already see the dark material built up in there. A little stratifying going. Wash some of that off. You can see all the dark material in there. That's what I'm after, and this pan is super heavy, but I'm not planning on seeing a whole crap load of gold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin this down, and then I will show the gold to you. And I figured something out with the dredge too. These little tips that I make. I always have a problem with when I bend them with the torch. I get this like lip thing in there. Get the camera will focus on it. See that lip? It causes rocks to get stuck in them. Wham! And it picks up pretty big ones too, especially with this 4-inch. But what I was doing in the past was stabbing it in to get the deepest gold I could get down closest to the bottom. What I found out is if you turn it this way and just put it so that baloney cut is on the ground, it doesn't really pick up all the rocks, it just picks up all the material between the rocks. So I had far less clogs and ended up ran about 4 times the material that I did all day long when I showed you that last one, that 20-minute video. The one that Tanya saw the crystals in. I might send you some of those. I found some more too, but I'll show them later. Anyway, I'm gonna go pan that. Okay, so after an hour's worth of stuff in that big old pan that I showed you, that's what I got out of it. Not very much. And then slowing it down, it did catch more fine gold. There's a lot more small particles in there than there was the last time. See them all spread out. You put all that together and it's not very much. I don't know. That don't look suck. Yeah, there, Bubble. Yeah, that's not bad. There's all the stuff that came out of the pan. You can really see all the heavies in that, man. Catching gold in high water is difficult. It's not easy, no matter what spot you go to. It's because there's just so much material. It's a lot better when it's lower, gotta tell you. This spot's gonna change too, because there's a big turnout thing down there that's getting eroded out, and once that happens, a lot of stuff's gonna be different here. Which it'll probably happen next time it floods. So, I'm gonna dig up some more shiny. Get a little footage of the 4-inch in action. The main thing I can tell you is while you're feeding your sluices, keep a constant flow of material in it. Don't stop. If you stop, get your sluice out of the water. But keep a constant flow of material going through. That way it mimics the riverbed and it'll drop the gold down on the bottom of the sluice, so it'll end up in your bucket, so it ends up in your pan. Dig what I'm saying? Especially over there, man, there's like a snag, and right behind it there's a big pile, like a big pile of black sand. I like it. Yep. Yep, I can see my little rock bar over there that I was throwing up that sustained that bank, which it needs. It's my plan is just, rework this so it quits eroding. That way this stays a workable system. The more you do it like that, your gold's always going to be where you've always found it. In fact, the hole that I dug the last time I was here, which was Wednesday, and that was 3 days ago, it's already filled in. So that tells you what's going on. If I wanted to, I could go dig in the same spot and get the same gold I got last time. Maybe a little more. Who knows? It was warm. Got the shirt off. Starting to cloud up though. So I probably got maybe one more dig. Maybe 2. We'll see. Doggy. Boy, was that a fun run. I got another full pan out of it. I've definitely got the water pressure down. You just got to feed it a lot. I'm not exactly sure how long I ran that time, but I found a nice little pocket of gold. I even got a big flake, man. Look at that. Well, now you know what a big flake looks like. You can see it floating around in there, maybe. Big old chunky dude. I definitely got more than I got last time. And I was thinking about bailing because, like, I'm out of provisions. Especially drinkable water. I mean, there's water here, but I run a risk if I drink it, I'll get sick. And it's hot, and I'm definitely getting sunburnt. But with that much in the pan, I might try another run and just risk getting a little dehydrated since I'm so close to home. There was something I was going to say, but I can't remember what I was going to tell you. I've noticed that where I was digging, that there's a lot more new big rocks, and I'm just focusing on hitting underneath the big rocks. So that's where all this is coming from. I don't move them, I don't take them out, don't roll them out, don't reposition them. I leave them. I might flip them over, but that's about all I do. I want it to stay in the general area because when they're there, they pull a lot of material underneath them. And plus, I got some damage to the sluice going on. This stupid piece is coming up. The glue didn't hold, and it's bleeding out, so I'm not sure if it's affecting stuff or not. But I definitely got to redo that. Gonna need some maintenance. The bike seat's screwed up. It's all swirling around. But I think I'm gonna try one more run. I'll check on the time. I don't know. So here's one of the crystal pocket things I found inside the quartz. There's a bunch. Man, get them to sparkle right inside there, and they're all around the outside edge. All I'm going to do is go home with my cutter and trim this thing up so you can see more of the crystals in there, but there's a bunch of really clear ones in there. I found one. Let's see if I got it in my pocket. That one's got a really clear point on it. But do you see it shimmering in the light? It's a little rough, needs a little smoothing, but it'll be alright. I found another one too. It was a little terminated one. It's nothing real special to look at. It's kind of opaque, but I like it. I didn't run that long, but I did go underneath this boulder that was out there. Managed to get my sucker underneath it, and that's the gold that I pulled out of it. It's not too bad. What I'm going to do is pile this stuff up and clean it out of there. I'm not going to dump my stuff back in the pan, but I'll show you how much I got in the jar. I don't want to have to try to suck it back up again, and it's a little magnified being in this little horseradish jar. These are those little beaver horseradish, about as long as my finger, not that big around. If I tip this upside down, it's nowhere near going to look that big, but it's just for the point so you can see it better. Big pile of fine gold down there, and that big chunk one. The sun's really not cooperating. It's kind of getting weird out here, so I'm pretty much going to pick up my gear, bail out, because I'm really dehydrated, man. Okay, people, it's the end of the day. I still have chores and junk to do, and again, this is my weekend. Gotta do some oil changes, gotta mow some lawn, gotta shovel some dog crap. You know, all the cool, fun crap that us poor, regular folks have to do. So, gonna get out of here. Hope you enjoyed the show. I hope I gave you some tips you could use. And remember, reclimate as you go. Because if you just look at this, you can't even tell where I was digging. Looks the same. And all of you that have stuck with this series since it began, and I started making this my normal spot, you can tell that it really hasn't changed. And that's greatly in part to what I'm doing here. Because other parts that I've gone to, they're different every time I go. So by keeping consistency in the mix, you up your yield. And if you want to get a lot of gold, you got to move a lot of dirt. That's just it. The math is sound. If you want more, move more. That's all there is to it. My back hurts. I'm not going to lie to you. It's sore. I have to go stretch for a couple hours. and change some oil. So, from me to you to me, back again. Peace out, babies. Out of here.